Guys, Duncan Meter, welcome back to the channel. What do we have today? This is the AR-15. I have gotten a lot of comments and remarks that my previous videos on how to use the AR-15, while the content was great, people could not see clearly the firearm in the entire frame of the video. So I want to correct that. I hope that this is better. I'm seated in a different position, and I'm behind the camera this time. I'm a one-man operation, guys, so I'm doing my best here. But this is the AR-15. Let's dive right into it, and we're going to do a new how to use the AR-15 video. If you could do me a really solid favor, if you enjoyed this video, if you could like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. And obviously, please leave a lot of comments. I do read every single comment, and I will get back to you. So what is the AR-15? The AR does not stand for assault rifle, despite what the media likes to say. AR stands for Armalite rifle, and it was designed for the military, actually in the late 1950s, and it was adopted into wide military service during the Vietnam War, also known as the M16, AR-15, M4. It has all different variants, but the AR-15 platform, as it is commonly known, is what we have right here. For civilian use, obviously, this is a semi-automatic firearm for civilians. So, let's dive right into it. Right now, and I hope you can see this, this is unloaded, and this is safe. I have a gun vault magazine lock in here. I do actually highly recommend this. The gun vault magazine lock is basically an orange magazine that goes in here and locks, so you are unable to put an actual magazine in here. So obviously I'm going to go ahead and take this out because we do need to use this for purposes of the video, so it would be very difficult if I had this stuck in here the whole time. There we go. Alright, so now this is out of here. And real quick, this is the gun vault magazine lock. It basically just goes in there. It's a fake magazine, and then when you turn the key, this locks it into the mag well, so you can't remove it without the key. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this. So, basic operation of the AR-15. What you have here is your pistol grip. This is where the magazine goes. This little door right here, this is the dust cover for the ejection port. And basically when the firearm is being stored, I think it is good practice to keep this closed because it prevents anything from getting into the chamber where the magazine goes. And again, it's basically a dust cover for the ejection port. I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. And actually, I guess what we should do, now obviously I know this is unloaded, and hopefully you guys do as well, because you did see me remove the gun vault magazine well lock. But let's just go over how we can check right away, is the firearm unloaded? Now, full disclosure, I'm in a safe location with nobody around me in any way, shape, or form. So even if this was loaded and accidentally discharged, I would be fine, as long as it's obviously not pointed at me. Let's go ahead and check though. So this button right here, what this does is this will, if you push it in this direction, it will release the bolt in the carrier to the closed position if this were back and locked. With no magazine in here though, if I were to pull this back, it's just going to come forward again. But what you can do is you can push down on the release when the charging handle is pulled back, and you can lock it open. So I'm going to try to do that with this in the frame here of the camera. I'm going to pull this back and I'm going to push this down. All right. So as I pulled the charging handle back, I pushed this lever down, and I have locked the bolt and the carrier in the open position. While doing that, it also released the dust cover open. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it around in a safe direction. And as you can hopefully see on the camera, this is empty. It is empty because I can stick my hand in the magazine well, and I can see my fingers here, and there is no round in here, or you may not be able to see in the camera, or in the chamber. So that is how you would check to make sure that the AR-15 is unloaded and empty. Obviously, again, you're going to want to, this is an actual magazine. I live in a very unfriendly state, as I'm sure you know if you watch any of my videos. So this is a 10-round unfriendly state magazine. If the magazine was loaded with rounds and it was in here, you would actually see the round. And then when you release the charging handle, the bolt in the carrier group will slide forward, will strip a round off the magazine and load it into the chamber. This magazine, obviously, because it is orange, this is the follower, so we know that it's unloaded. If there were a round in there, again, forgive me, I'm a one-man operation, it would look like this. And then when the round was up in here and you closed the charging handle, as this is closing, it would just strip the round off and push it right into the chamber. So again, let's start from the beginning now. We know that the firearm is unloaded. We've gone through this. How do you use the AR-15? Well, you take your magazine, which would presumably be loaded, and for the purposes of this video, while the magazine is loaded, I'm not going to put a loaded magazine in the AR-15 because I don't intend to shoot it. But you would take your loaded magazine. I'm going to take an unloaded one here, just so we can kind of see. Take your loaded magazine, you would put it into the magazine well. We'll use this one. You're going to want to push it in until you hear it click. So that click means it's locked in place. Now you would have a round in here. What you would do is, I'm going to flip this around again so you can see on the camera. You would depress this button right here. And when you depress this button, it's going to release the charging handle and the bolt in the carrier, and it's going to slam it forward, stripping a round off the magazine and pushing it into the chamber. So I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to press this button. Obviously you will just know that I'm going to press it because it's not going to be on the camera. But I would like you to see the bolt closing. So my finger is on that button. So real life, we put the loaded magazine in, it has clicked, the charging handle is locked back, and we're going to press the button. So what just happened now is that the bolt slammed forward, stripping a round out of the magazine and chambering the round. Also, obviously, when you pull the charging handle back, it does automatically flip the dust cover open. So now, you would just, fire at the range, do what you're doing. When you're done firing, when the last round has exited the chamber, the bolt is going to lock back. Did you notice before the bolt did not lock back and I had to press down on that button? Well, that's because there was no magazine in here. Now that there's a magazine in here, upon the last round exiting, the bolt is going to lock back. So I'm going to simulate the last round just went off. The bolt is coming back. It locked in the back position. I did not have to depress that button. Now what you would do right here, this is the magazine release button. You would press it, release your magazine, take your next loaded magazine, put it in here, push it shut, hit the button on the other side again, which is this button right here to release the bolt in the carrier. It is just released. It has just stripped the round off the magazine and chambered it. But wait, let's just say maybe it didn't. Maybe there was like a piece of dirt or a piece of sand. Something was obstructing it and the bolt did not close all the way. One of the rounds did not seat all the way. That is what this button is for. This is called the forward assist. And what this does is it helps the bolt to go forward, to close. It helps the round, if it didn't seat right, to just get back in there and get that bolt closed. I have never needed to use the forward assist, and I don't really know anyone that ever has. I'm sure somebody has in the military, in combat. Somebody probably had some issue someday and had to use it. But realistically, this is very rarely used. But that's what this is for. Just know what this is. It is the forward assist. So again, now you're good to go. Fire, fire, fire. When you're done, this will lock back. Again, we'll simulate this. Last round has gone off. The bolt has automatically gone back, and now it's locked open. One thing I didn't mention, and forgive me, I'm going to mention it right now. I'm just going to turn it around again, is the safety switch. So I know the front is a little bit out of the frame here, but that's okay. We're not looking at the front right now. We're looking right here. This button right here, or this lever I should say, is the safety lever. So it's on safe right now, and I hope you can see that. So I can't pull the trigger. If I wanted to fire it, I would switch this. I'm going to pull this down, and now it points at the fire position. Obviously I can't fire it now either because obviously there's no round in here. The bolt has locked back, but that is how the safety works. So you load your magazine. What you should do is you should have it on safe, load your magazine, get everything ready. Everything's clear. You're now ready to fire the rifle. So you're going to press this. You've released the bolt. It's back in. It's stripped the round off. Everything's clear. Still can't fire. Now you're going to switch it to fire. You're ready. Pull the trigger. You've just shot. Obviously, this is semi-automatic. What's going to happen is the bolt is going to fly back from the pressure. It's going to move forward, strip the next round off, fire again, move back, move forward, fire again. Oh, you got to your last round. It's going to move back and it's going to lock, as we just said. Once it locks, you're going to hit the eject button, get the magazine out, take the next one, put it in, hit the little button over here, release the bolt, and you're good to go. And that is basically how this AR-15 operates for a new user. This right here, this is a collapsible stock or an extendable stock. I live in an unfriendly state. As I've mentioned many times, we are very unfriendly here. So this is pinned. I cannot adjust as much as I want to. I cannot adjust the stock. So in your state, if it's not an unfriendly one, this is adjustable for different sized persons that are firing this. You would attach a sling here. I used to have a Trigicon sight. I have taken it off. I'm not quite sure what I want to put on here yet. But this is the sight rail where you would put a sight. You could put iron sights, which has the handle. A million different variants of sights that you could put on this. So I think we've covered all the bases here. Obviously, there's a lot more to an AR-15. In other videos that I'm going to post, I'm going to show how you can break this down, how you can open this up, and you'll have the upper and the lower section. And that is obviously necessary for cleaning the rifle. I don't know if you can see right here, but this is a little pin, and you would release the pin over here, then this pivots. The whole upper flips up, the lower comes down, and you can obviously clean this and take it apart as you should. You can take the bolt out, the carrier group out. I will do a whole series on how to take this down and clean it and different accessories. But again, this is the basic operation of how an AR-15 works. Another question that I do get pretty commonly is regarding these rounds. And I'm not going to get into all the details because this is a rabbit hole that you'll never come out of. But the AR-15 platform is commonly chambered in 223 or 5.56 millimeter rounds. Generally speaking, an AR-15 can fire either. There are differences in the rounds, in the size and the pressure, but generally speaking, you can buy a 223 or 5.56 round and it will fire either. You can actually see on this is a Bushmaster. Caliber is 223-5.56, so it could fire either of them. But again, there's nuances and there's exceptions to that, but that's not for this video. So I hope you guys have found this useful and helpful. If you do, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of requests to remake this video because the firearm was not fully in frame for all of the last video, and I totally agree with you. So hopefully this has alleviated some of those concerns. Hopefully you have found this helpful. I do have another video also on my channel, actually many videos on the channel, but I do have another video on the channel specifically as it relates to how to load a magazine. I know I gave you a quick 3-second demonstration, but the other video does go into a lot of detail, and I would advise to watch that. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.